Welcome back to Tom's Life. Today's Mother's Day special is coffee and almond cake. The ingredients you need are strong coffee, almonds, butter, margarine, self-raising flour, caster sugar, brown sugar, eggs, baking powder, vanilla extract and cream. First we're going to weigh out all the ingredients. I'm going to start off with the margarine. First we're going to weigh out 150 grams of margarine. I'm using my talking scales.
It is 195 grams.
Just going to take some out.
It is 162 grams. It is 151 grams.
Once you have weighed out 150 grams of margarine, you're going to get a mixing bowl and you're going to place it all in the mixing bowl and give it a good tap out, and then we will weigh out the sugar and then we will cream them together to make like a sponge, and then we add in our coffee and almonds to make our coffee and almond cake. Next step, we're going to weigh out the caster sugar. You will need 150 grams. I'm using my talking scales.
It is 17 grams.
So you keep weighing it till you get to 150 grams.
Grams. It is 58 grams. It is 77 grams. It is 96 grams. It is 149 grams.
That'll do. Once you have weighed out your caster sugar, you're going to place your caster sugar in the same bowl with your margarine, and you also want to give it a good tap so you get it all out. Next step, we're going to weigh out 100 grams of self-raising flour. I am using my talking scales.
It is 11 grams. It is 47 grams. It is 88 grams. It is 99 grams.
What that'll do. Once you weigh out
99 grams.
Once you weighed out your self-raising flour, you're going to get a mixing bowl and you're going to place it all into the bowl. Give it a good tap so you get it all out. Next step, we're going to weigh out 50 grams of brown sugar for the sauce. So I'm using my talking scales.
It is 24 grams. It is 40 grams. It is 40 grams. It is 46 grams.
Just add a little bit more.
It is 49 grams. It is 50 grams.
Spot on. Once you weighed out 50 grams of brown sugar, you're going to get a small pan and you're going to place your brown sugar in there. And then you also give it a little tap so you get it all out. Next we're going to weigh out 50 grams of butter. So you first get a block of butter. You want to take the sides off it, and then you want to chop a bit of butter off, and then you use your scales.
It is 75 grams.
Just going to take a little bit off that.
It is 49 grams.
That will do.
It is 49 grams.
So what you do is you got your little piece of butter what you have weighed out,
0.
and you just want to chop it in 3 and then in half. Because the reason why we do this, when we melt it with the sugar, like I'm going to place it in the pan now, it will melt easily, and we'll do that later on. So you just add it into your brown sugar. Next we're going to make our coffee. So what you do is if you get coffee, you have it in a bag, and you want to take out 2 teaspoons. I have put it in a little food bag, and you just want to pour it into some water. And then you want to give this a good stir so it all evolves and you make your coffee. Then what we do is we're going to let this cool, and we'll add it in later on, and this will be a nice coffee flavour to your cake. Next up, we're going to crack 4 eggs. So you're going to give it a little crack. You're going to break it down the middle and pour it into your bowl. Catch any of the little shell. I'll show you again how I did that. So you first give it a little crack, break it in the middle and drop it in, and you keep doing your eggs. Then we'll give them a good beat. After you've cracked all 4 eggs, you want to start giving them a good beat with your fork. Put it on a little bit of an angle so you crack all of them in. Mix them all in. Give it a good beat for a minute or 2. Next we're going to preheat the oven. Using my bump punch to tell me which one is the oven. And we're going to set this at 200 degrees. We have set that at 200 degrees. Let that preheat while you start making your cake. Now you want to start beating your margarine and sugar. You want to give it a good bind. Just give it a good chop action first to break any of the margarine, and then you give it a good beat. So we got a nice peak. It'll be like a peak texture. Next you want to add in your self-raising flour. Get it all out. You also want to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder to your mixture, and then you want to bind that all in with your wooden spoon. Get all the way around the bowl. So we bind it in, and then doing like a chop action. It'll start to come into a mixture, into like a batter. Then we'll add in the eggs, and then when you think the coffee is cold, you'll add that in too, because you do not want it to split your batter. Next step, you want to add in your eggs, and you want to give this a bit of a stir. Give a little tap on the wooden spoon so all the butter binds in. So we're just carefully stirring this all in. But must be careful, you've now got raw eggs in. So please do not lick the bowl or you'll get salmonella. Next step, you're going to add in your coffee. And your almonds. Let's put in like about 3/4 of a pack, and you just want to bind this all in. Carefully. It might look a bit runny, but we're going to cook it in the oven in a minute for 20 to 30 minutes, so it cooks and goes nice and brown on top. Next step, we're going to grease our tray. So just getting around all the pan and all the sides so it doesn't stick. Now you're going to pour all your mixture into your baking tray. Next we're going to place it in the oven to cook for 20 to 30 minutes so it goes nice and soft and be brown on the top. So I place it in the oven on a shelf. You want to put it mainly at the back, then you close the door and you want that to cook for 20 to 30 minutes. While that's cooking, you make your sauce and then you put that on the top at the end. Next step, we're going to start making butter syrup sauce. So you're going to switch on your hob to high, and then you're going to get your pan with your brown sugar and butter and place it on the ring, and then you're going to just start stirring this so the butter melts and the sugar starts to go into a nice caramel. Then we add a little bit of vanilla extract and the cream, and then we let it boil, and then we'll place this on top of our cake. Next step, you want to add a little drop of vanilla extract. And you want to give that a bit of a stir. And you also want to add in your cream. And then you want to give this a good stir and then let it boil to make a nice butter sauce. Next step, you're going to pour your butter sauce on top. Place it in the middle. And with the back of your wooden spoon, you just want to carefully spread it out. It might look loads of sauce, but what we're doing is we're spreading it all around the sponge, and when it starts to cool, all the sauce will soak into the sponge, and you put it all the way round, and it doesn't matter if it goes down the sides, all the way around the sides, because that will give the cake moisture. And then what we're going to do, we're going to let this, once you have given a good spread out, we're going to leave this to cool for an hour. And then what we're going to do, you can either serve it up like this with some ice cream or cream. It's up to you. Place it in the fridge overnight so all your nice sauce on top sets. This is what it should look like when you have finished making your cake. So what you do is when you have laid all your sauce on top of your cake, it will first drip down the sides. Then you'll leave it for an hour so it'll cool. Then you'll place the remaining of the sauce back on the cake like I have done here. Then you can either do two things. You can either eat it warm, or you can place it in the fridge to set overnight like I have done here. So once you have done that, you're going to serve it. I hope you like this recipe. Hope you all have a nice Mother's Day. And don't forget to hit the like button, share and subscribe. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button if you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe. More videos coming soon.